Hey, what's up, guys? This is Donnie here again. So today I'd like to talk about my Tacoma. As you can see, there are some changes on this truck now. If you guys been following my channel, you know how I basically got this truck. I made a video about that, and then all the things that I put into this truck. The change that I made. So this video is basically continuation to those changes. So the biggest one being, I don't know if you guys noticed the difference now, but truck is much taller now. So yes, I did put a lift kit on this truck. So did change the tires as well. Kept the wheels though. Those were perfect wheels, and I really like those OEM style 4Runner Pro wheels, so I don't want to change them. And I just changed the tires and the lift kit basically. So when it comes to a lift kit, I went with ARB's Old Man EMU lift kit. 3-inch lift all around. It's a complete lift kit, not some leveling stuff or spacers or any of that stuff. It's actual full lift kit. So with that being said, I'll show you in a second. Let me just quickly walk around and let you guys see the whole thing. There you have it. She's a beauty now, definitely. I wasn't so sure about a lift kit, putting a lift kit on a truck, because to be honest, this is my first time doing it. So not that I had anything against lift kits and all, but I just wasn't sure if I'm gonna actually need it, and all that stuff. But then I decided to just give it a try, and I gotta say it's awesome. I mean, it's a lovely. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So to begin, let's talk about the tires and the wheel setup. Oh, by the way, the measurements are here. I don't know if you guys can see. That's 285/70 R17s, and yeah, basically these are 33-inch tall tires now. These are TRD Pro 4Runner wheels, 17 inches in size. So, and the tires, these are Nitto all-terrain grapplers G2. So I was debating between Goodyear Duratrack, Falcon Wild Peak, and some other ones, but I decided to just go with Nittos, just because a friend of mine actually had it in his truck for about a year now, and he's been quite happy with them. So plus, I don't want to go too aggressive when it comes to threads. I wanted to have all terrains, but at the same time relatively quiet on the highway driving, and these were perfect actually. So I rode in my friend's truck, and they were super quiet, so I really liked how they basically perform on pavement driving. So, and I decided to go with the same thing. So talking about a lift kit, so front shocks, so this is basically Old Man EMU lift kit. So front shocks are Old Man. Upper control arms actually. So this is SPC upper control arms. I didn't want to. So I wanted to go with SPCs just because I do have some plans with for this truck in the future. And when I was talking to guys at the Toyota Mafia, so they're the ones that actually hooked me up with this lift kit. They asked me what I want to do with the truck, and when I told them my plans, they said in the future I would probably end up ending up actually upgrading my or needing to upgrade my old upper control arms anyway. So to avoid all of that, down the road, to coming back to this again and changing it, they just told me right off the bat, just preferably go with SPCs instead of keeping the stock or even Old Man EMU actually upper control arms. So that's why I went with the SPC ones. So these are adjustable, and also they're more durable than obviously they're much durable than a stock upper control arms, as well as actually Old Man EMU upper control arms. So that's why I went SPCs. Shocks, coilovers, they all are ARB Old Man EMU. There you go. Much thicker shocks. If you guys see the difference compared to stock shocks, the Bilsteins. So that's that. And one thing I want to let you guys know, so when you get in this lift kit, for Tacoma particularly, I don't know about other trucks or SUVs, but for Tacomas, there's supposed to be a plate, like a spacer, I guess, like a spacer plate or whatever they call it. Make sure to ask for that, actually, because ideally these shocks actually don't come with it, I think, or I mean, you just gotta ask or mention it, because when you install them on Tacomas, there's gonna be a kind of tilt or lean, and that's most likely going to be on your left side, on the driver's side. So you want to talk about that plate and mention it. It's there, right there. It's kind of squeezed. It's hard to see, but there's that small plate. That's to level the truck. Make sure it's not leaning just on one side. It's not going to be huge lean, but still it's going to be noticeable. So if you end up getting that plate, make sure it goes on the driver's side. Coming to the back, same thing. ARB Old Man EMU shocks in the back, and Old Man EMU leaf springs. These are heavy load leaf springs. They are rated to hold up to, I believe, additional 300 pounds or whatnot. So I went with the heavy load one. Yes, they are pretty rough on while riding now, because I mean they're much thicker, much more durable. So they're they're actually meant for heavier loads. So right now, since the truck's basically empty, except this what's already on on the truck, which is shell, camper shell. Beside from that, there's no additional weight, so truck is a little on the rougher side right now when it's riding. But as I start putting more load onto the truck, it's supposed to basically level out and become a little more softer, I guess. But anyway, right now it's rock solid. I mean, when you drive over like a bumps or anything like that, truck doesn't bounce, doesn't wobble. It just goes straight through it, basically, just like a regular car. And I don't know if you guys see that, if you guys can see it or not, but I did also add extended brake lines, because now truck is lifted, of course, but at the same time, with these shocks, when you go off-road or whatnot, you're going to be kind of going over different articulation and stuff like that. So if you would keep the stock brake lines, they're going to get stretched out and put extra tension to them. So to avoid that, I went put a extended brake lines. That way there's not going to be extra tension on the brake lines as I start taking this truck off-road eventually, whenever I do. But there you go, from the back. Old Man EMU shocks, brake lines. Here's the springs. I believe these actually have extra additional 2 leaves in the leaf spring pack, because the stock ones only come with 4, if I'm not mistaken. Now my spare tire, I still have my old one. I need to upgrade it. They only had 4 tires in stock, so I just went ahead and upgraded my main 4 tires. But they did place an order for 1 extra tire, so they're gonna be upgrading that. Because you want to keep in mind though, like when you're upgrading your wheels and tire setups, and if it's taller than your traditional like old tire setup, you want to also match your spare tire to that size, because since these trucks are 4x4s and have sophisticated drivetrain, if you ever need, if you're in a position where you have to put your spare tire and something happens to your main tire, it's going to be different size, and it may eventually mess up your drivetrain. So you want to make sure you match the spare tires as well, at least have the same height. May not be the same width or whatnot, but the height has to be the same. So that's why I am going to be upgrading my spare tire as well, but I'm just waiting to new tires to arrive. Once it arrives, I'm just going to drop my spare tire off, and they'll put the new one on, and I'll put it and there it's probably going to be a little tight because space beneath the bed is not so much, so I'm gonna have to improvise a little bit and make sure it fits. But I've been talking to people and they said it should fit. It's just gonna, I might have to kind of wiggle around as I'm actually cranking it up and try to make space for it, but it should fit. Otherwise, let's go right here. Oh, with when it comes to bushing, so from what I was told, these springs actually don't come with bushings. So, but like I said, I got them through Toyota Mafia, and they really hooked me up well with this whole lift kit setup. So they actually added Dubinson's bushings to this lift kit as I was actually picking them up. So they hooked me up on that end. And when you put in your leaf springs, make sure you put enough grease in there where it's not going to be making that squeaky noise when you put those bushings, and you don't want to put them just dry. You want to put at least a little bit of grease in there, so it won't be making that squeaky noise when you're driving. But otherwise, there you go. So this is it. That's the lift kit setup. And there you go. I was gonna mention, so as you can see here, there's no plate, whereas on the other side there was a little bit of plate in there, like a spacer plate. Because like I said, I mean, when you upgrade your suspension setup on Tacoma, there's gonna be a little lean. They call it a taco lean. So yeah, in order to avoid that, you want to put that little bit of spacer in between. Washer, I guess they also call it a washer or something. So that's that. Otherwise, there you go. So truck is definitely coming along. You already do know about my other upgrades that I did to this truck: exhaust system, TRD skid plate, TRD intake kit, and all that. So my next plan is to put sliders. I'm probably gonna go with Saturn style off-road sliders on the side. Also put a slim hybrid steel bumper in the middle. When I say hybrid, it's not going to replace the entire bumper. It's just going to replace this black piece in the middle. So I'm going to have to cut this off, put that steel bumper, which is also going to be winch capable. So I'm going to actually get it with winch as well. So planning on putting a winch on this truck. So that's that. And then the next thing is going to be put in a skid plate, fuel pump skid plate, to protect the fuel pump. And otherwise, I believe this is it. And oh yeah, by the way, and eventually get a rooftop tent. But before I put a rooftop tent, I want to actually go with all the way across with the rack, from to a cabin, as well as for the bed, on top of camper shell. So I have that full rack on top. Probably go with Prinsu, and then eventually get a rooftop tent on top and call it a day, hopefully. But then again, these things, they never end. You always want to do something with this. So, but for now, these are the plans. So probably, like I said, next upgrade or add-on is probably going to be sliders, and then a skid plate for a fuel tank, and then eventually get a bumper. That's like a priority right now. Everything else is going to be laid on probably as I save up a little bit, because these things don't cost cheap. So, but anyway, wanted to share with you guys this update with this truck. So I hope you guys like it. I surely do. I love this stance. I mean, it looks great in my opinion. Definitely looks much taller. And primary reason I wanted to do a lift kit was because of the sag, because this is a loam bed, right? And I had this camper shell on. It was kind of like a sagging at the back, so that's why that was another reason why I wanted to put a lift kit. Not that was the only the reason, but that was one of the part of the reason why I wanted to put a lift kit. Anyway, so that's that. I hope you guys like this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the comment section below. Please, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Consider supporting my channel. Consider subscribing, and I will continue uploading more videos. If you like this, please consider subscribing to my channel, and I hope to catch you guys in future videos. Thank you.